Hey guys, today's video is extra special. I am here at Buckmore Park, which is considered one of the UK's best outdoor go-karting tracks. With over 1,000 metres in length, with ridiculously quick go-karts, means that I'm really excited to drive around here today. You guys have also heavily requested this place as well, so let's just jump into it. So I've been wanting to visit Buckmore Park for absolutely ages. Visually how the track is designed just makes you so excited to try it out. But it's not just about the looks, it also has a pretty incredible backstory. You see, back in the 60s when karting became known in the UK, the land was being leased by a nearby scout club. They managed to convince the local Chatham Army engineers to build the original 400-metre circuit for free. The circuit would remain open for the next 20 years, but the scouts ran out of money to maintain the track and its conditions started to become unsafe. In the late 80s, the track's contract swapped hands with the Scouts, and over the next couple of years, the circuit was restored and expanded to 900 metres and gained an MSA licence to race national championships. Across the next 20 years, the circuit expanded even further with a dedicated race control, clubhouse, kart maintenance workshops, and making the track even longer. Then in 2015, John Surtees purchased Buckmore Park and majorly upgraded the circuit, now featuring a brand new barrier system, runoff areas, and fresh tarmac. This is also where you would find people like Jenson Button, Sam Bird and Lewis Hamilton all beginning their race careers here. This is also the place where Ron Dennis first discovered Lewis Hamilton, who would then later on sign him to the McLaren Formula One team. Lots of racing history which everyone should appreciate when coming here, but let's now talk about the track. You've got 12 corners in the circuit with the more technical hairpin corners to start with. Then you flow down the hill into faster sweeping corners. This section is more driver control, getting your braking and positioning right, in contrast to the beginning stage for gaining positions. Because of the elevation changes throughout the circuit, it makes you rethink how you approach your racing style. If you carry too much speed into a corner, you could be sent off wide struggling with your brake, with your weight distribution sent to the front. Or likewise, having a slow exit heading up a hill means you struggle to try and hit those top speeds. The karts are 390cc 4-stroke Sodi karts. They also feature inner floor covering, which covers the petrol tank, steering column, and of course the floor, which is all for the comfort for the driver and not hitting against metal when racing. So let's get into what it's like to drive at a track. And before we go ahead, just for full transparency, the footage you're about to see wasn't actually done by myself, it was done by the track by another driver, but let's just pretend it was me. As are governed by the National Kart Alliance along with the MSA, they actually prohibit putting on helmet cameras, and because of the nature of my shoot, I couldn't mount mine, which I've got to fully respect. But it's also a good thing to flag as well, in case you're wanting to turn up and use your own GoPro. You can put them on the cars, but just not on the helmet. So let's get into it. Turn 1 has a wide entry and tightens for turn 2, leading into turn 3, resulting in the pack having to slow down, but gaining positions. The corners also feature raised apexes, which I'm a big fan of, meaning if you go for the move down the inside, you've got to fully commit. The exits also feature rubble strips, which are basically there to remind you of track limits in case you can't see the painted lines. This section heading downhill is going to be the best part of the track, gaining so much speed sweeping from left to right. Super smooth surface and you won't get much overtaking here unless someone is out of control. Coming into the final stages, and this corner is a tricky one to get right. The racing line makes you turn much later than you have to, so you have a better run-off speed before heading up the hill. Down the little dip into a bump before you climb back up the hill towards the clubhouse into a fast left, carrying across that speed, moving over to the right-hand side over the curbs to then finish the lap. It's a professional track which holds professional races, and when guys like us are allowed to go race around it, you feel professional, like a proper driver. And it took me about 2 to 3 laps to fully get to grips with everything, so then I could start looking at improvements of where I could brake a bit later or give it a bit more gas. But they really have thought about everything. I mean, even with the barriers, they're not even made out of tyres. They use Champion products which are massive foam blocks which can absorb massive hits and protect the driver going into them. So much so, I would feel comfortable just driving into one of these foam barriers because I know it would absorb that force and fully protect me. And if you saw my last video, you would have seen that someone actually drove into a tyre barrier, and as a result from that, if I just slow it down, you can see the tyre almost hits me, and you just wouldn't get that here. And that's what makes this track super safe, is that because if you do push it a bit too far, then you're fully protected anyway, whereas with other tracks, you're just going into some tyres. But just before we wrap things up, I do really want to quickly mention the events they hold there on a regular basis. They do sprint races, they do endurance races, which you can do on your own or in a team with a group of friends as well, against other people, winning for trophies. And it's so cool to see a karting company do this. Even some of them get live streamed with multiple camera angles and commentary as well. It's super, super fun. I'm going to get involved with it very soon, so look forward to that. So that's just about it for this video, and a massive thanks to Buckmore Park for letting me come along and film. You can find their details in the description down below. But what track should I visit to next and why? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you want to watch some more go-karting videos, you can do so by clicking over here. And if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can click so over here as well. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, top link in the description. That's where you can find out about new videos and also just what I'm getting up to. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.